Ever found yourself seeking like a quiet harbor in a world that just never stops turning? You're definitely not alone in that quest for inner calm, that feeling of real peace amidst all the turbulence.
Mhm.
Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into an ancient, really profound source of wisdom that speaks directly to this universal human experience,
Yeah.
the Quran.
Right. And our mission, you could say, in this deep dive is really to shortcut your journey to understanding how Islamic tradition, through its most authentic sources, and we're talking seminal Sunni tafsir works like Ibn Kathir, Al-Jalalain,
The heavy hitters.
exactly, and the canonical hadith collections like Sahih al-Bukhari and
Yeah.
Sahih Muslim, how these offer a holistic system for navigating life's challenges with, well, a serene heart.
So it's about getting that knowledge quickly but thoroughly, helping you find those aha moments.
Precisely. Those moments that genuinely shift your perspective.
Okay, so to anchor this, let's quickly define what we mean by tranquility here. In Islam, it's more than just, the absence of conflict. It's about salam.
Falam, yeah. Which really denotes a true positive state of, like, holistic wellness, mind, body, spirit, all of it.
But what sounds really transformative is this other concept, sakna.
Ah, yes. Sakina. It's described as a divinely ordained tranquility, a specific, profound peacefulness that Allah directly places upon the hearts of believers.
Okay, so sakina isn't just an emotion you work up, or like a fleeting calm.
Not at all. That's what's fascinating. It's presented in the Quran as a direct, almost tangible gift from God.
A gift, wow.
Yeah, and this divine endowment, it actively confirms and strengthens a believer's faith. It serves as both solace, comfort, and also spiritual fortification.
So understanding salam as this positive wellness state and sakina as this direct divine gift, that really changes how you'd approach seeking peace, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It implies an active, intentional relationship, a deliberate seeking, and importantly, preparation. It's not just passively waiting for calm to descend on you.
Okay, so if sakina is this divine gift and you need to prepare, what's a concrete way someone listening right now might actively prepare themselves beyond just waiting? What kind of inner alignment helps?
Well, it really requires a conscious effort, doesn't it? Aligning
Yeah.
your actions, your intentions with the divine will. And this preparation primarily involves two foundational pillars: patience, or sabr,
To say,
and prayer, salāh. And crucially, these aren't just passive virtues. They are active spiritual practices designed specifically to open the heart to receive sakina.
that's a perfect segue then. Foundational pillars, patience and prayer. And there's a core instruction, a really powerful directive for believers, right? From the Quran, 2.153.
That's the one. Oh, you who believe, seek help in patience and as-salāh, the
Uh-huh.
prayer. Truly, Allah is with us, sabr, in the patient.
Please help in patience and prayer.
And the scholarly commentaries, Ibn Kathir al-Jalalain, they really illuminate this verse. It's incredibly rich. It connects thankfulness for blessings directly with the imperative, the command, to use patience and prayer as your primary recourse when facing disaster or adversity.
So it's not just a suggestion, it's a do this.
Exactly. And the instruction itself is senu, meaning seek help. That verb is crucial. It powerfully emphasizes that patience and prayer are not passive resignation. They are active, vital means of seeking divine assistance.
Right. It's about proactively engaging with the divine, understanding you have a role in seeking that help.
You do. It's not just waiting to be rescued. It's actively reaching out through these specific means.
So, okay, it's a direct command for active engagement. And when we talk about patience or sabr in this context, it sounds like it's way more profound than just, waiting quietly.
Oh, absolutely. Islamic scholarship considers sabr a defining foundational element of your spiritual arsenal, almost like a spiritual superpower, you could say.
A superpower. Okay.
Well, think about it. Sabr is deemed so central, so indispensable, that it's often described as half of faith.
Half of faith, that's huge.
It is. And within Sunni scholarship, particularly when you look at detailed analyses in hadith and tafsir, scholars actually delineate three distinct obligatory forms of this patience.
3 forms. Okay, what are they?
So the first is patience in fulfilling deeds of obedience and worship.
Right, like the daily grind of practice.
Exactly. Think about the self-discipline, the perseverance required to consistently maintain your daily prayers, or to fast during Ramadan, or give charity, even when it's inconvenient or difficult or you just don't feel like it.
It's not just starting, it's sustaining those acts. That requires real internal strength.
It does. It's that follow through on what you know is right, even when the immediate reward isn't obvious or tangible.
Okay, that's the first form. What's the second?
The second form of sabr is patience in refraining from sins and forbidden acts.
Ah, the self-control aspect.
Precisely. Resisting temptations, consciously turning away from desires that are unlawful. It's that inner struggle against impulses that pull you away from divine commands, holding back.
Got it. And the third, this one feels maybe more familiar.
Yes. The third form is probably the most commonly understood. Patience when faced with tribulations and adversities. You know, the hardships, losses, difficulties life inevitably throws your way.
So dealing with the tough stuff.
Exactly. Enduring these trials with acceptance, crucially, without despair or excessive complaint, knowing they are part of a larger divine plan.
So patience in doing good, patience in avoiding bad, and patience in facing hardship. It covers everything.
It really does. It shows patience as this constant inner practice, not just a reaction when something bad happens.
Right. So if patience is this multifaceted spiritual muscle, what's a common everyday scenario where someone might think they're being patient, but maybe they're only hitting one of these, missing the full picture?
That's a really insightful question. Okay, think about someone maybe struggling with a bad habit, let's say, like anger issues. They might be patiently enduring the consequences, the fallout from an outburst. That's patience in adversity, type
Right.
3.
Okay.
But if they're not also actively engaging in practices that build self-control, like specific prayers or a remembrance, to strengthen their resolve, patience and obedience, type 1, or actively patiently refraining from situations or thoughts that trigger the anger, patience, and avoidance, type 2, paisiri, then their sabr is incomplete. It's
Ah.
not holistic.
Ah, I see. So you need all three working together.
Yes. Or another example, someone might be super diligent with their prayers, showing great patience and obedience, but then maybe they snap easily at colleagues or family, failing in patience against forbidden anger or impatience, which falls under type 2. The real power, the real spiritual benefit of sabr comes from integrating all three forms. It becomes a way of being.
That really brings home the holistic nature of sabr. It's not just one thing. And there's that powerful metaphor you hear sometimes. Quote, patience is bitter, but its fruit is exceedingly sweet. What does that sweetness really mean in spiritual terms, beyond just, the problem eventually going away?
Well, the bitterness acknowledges the real struggle, right? Practicing sabr isn't easy.
Mm-hmm.
It feels hard. It is hard.
Right.
But the exceedingly sweet fruit that refers to so much more than just the end of the trial. It encompasses profound spiritual outcomes. Things like immediate inner tranquility and solace, even while you're still in the difficulty.
Peace amidst the storm, kind of.
Exactly. And a deep sense of nearness to Allah, feeling his presence and support. And then, of course, the ultimate promise of immense rewards in paradise in the hereafter.
So it transforms the struggle itself.
It does. It turns what feels like bitter endurance into a pathway yielding unparalleled spiritual gains. The struggle itself becomes a means of growth and connection, not just something to get through.
Wow. Okay. And hand in hand with patience is prayer, salāh. You describe this as a direct, unwavering connection with the divine, a wellspring of strength and calm.
Yes, salāh is presented as that immediate conduit. And the Prophet Muhammad's own life gives us such a vivid example of this direct connection in practice.
How so?
Well, the records show he invariably turned to prayer whenever he was troubled or upset or facing significant decisions or challenges. It wasn't just a ritualistic duty for him, ticking a box. It was his sanctuary, his immediate refuge.
To like his go-to coping mechanism, but on a profound spiritual level.
Absolutely. And he famously described prayer as the coolness of my eyes.
The coolness of my eyes. That's beautiful. What does that convey?
It's profoundly poignant, isn't it? It highlights prayer's role not just as an obligation, but as a deep spiritual remedy, a source of profound emotional, mental, and spiritual relief. It was his anchor, his comfort, his moment of complete immersion and peace. It allowed him to regain composure and clarity, regardless of what was happening externally.
So these foundational practices, this active, multi-layered patience, sabr, and this direct connection through prayer, salāh, they basically equip you, they prepare you for what life inevitably throws your way.
They do, because the Quran is incredibly realistic about the human experience. It doesn't sugarcoat things. It tells us directly about the inevitability of trials.
Yeah, it's not presented as an easy ride.
Not at all. It provides a very stark reality check in Quran 2.155. And certainly, we shall test you with something of fear, hunger, loss of wealth, lives, and fruits, but give glad tidings to as-sabrun, the patient.
Wow. Fear, hunger, loss of wealth, lives, fruits. It covers the major anxieties and pains of human
It
existence.
does. It makes it abundantly clear that trials and tribulations aren't anomalies. They are a fundamental, unavoidable, and indeed ordained part of being human.
So it's not if you'll be tested, but when and how. But what's crucial, you mentioned, is that these trials aren't presented as just like random punishments. What's the deeper purpose behind them, according to these sources?
Right? The purpose is never purely punitive in the way we might think of punishment. Instead, trials are framed consistently as a means for profound spiritual development and purification.
Ah, okay, so opportunities to grow.
Exactly. Opportunities for us to grow, to turn back to God, to perhaps refine our character, to experience His love and guiding us toward Him, as some commentaries put it. Suffering from this perspective gets transformed. It goes from being just a cause of sorrow,
To being a necessary step.
a necessary step, yes, toward spiritual maturation and achieving a deeper closeness to the Creator. And that final part of the verse, but give glad tidings to Asaph-Forarun, the patient. That's key.
The promise at the end.
Yes. It ensures that this endurance, this sabr, is far from vain. It will be richly rewarded, both in this life, perhaps with inner peace or eventual relief, and most certainly in the next. It gives suffering a profound meaning and a hopeful outcome.
This really transforms the whole narrative of difficulty, doesn't it? It shifts hardship from being just negative experiences to being potentially powerful opportunities for growth and connection. That's a complete paradigm shift for how you might view your own struggles.
It is indeed. It reframes everything.
Okay, so from understanding the reality and purpose of trials, let's turn to the flip side, the absolute certainty of relief that the Quran promises. Because it doesn't just warn about hardship, it offers this incredibly powerful, definitive assurance of ease.
Yes, and one of the strongest, most frequently quoted verses for reassurance in this regard comes from Surah Ashar, chapter 94, verses 5 and 6.
Right, the one that says, "For indeed with hardship will be ease. Indeed with hardship will be ease."
Exactly. And this doubling of the phrase, this is where the linguistic and theological nuance gets really fascinating. It's far more than just simple repetition for emphasis.
Okay, tell me more. How does the language work here?
Well, through academic commentary, particularly in tafsir, scholars highlight the specific Arabic word choice. The definite article al, like the, in English, is used before the word for hardship, which is al-usra.
Al-usra.
The hardship, right, implying one specific hardship, the particular difficulty that the individual is currently facing. But crucially, the word for ease, user, is used without the definite article in both instances. It's indefinite.
User. Just ease, not the ease.
Exactly, which implies not just an ease, but multiple sources or forms or facets of ease that will accompany or follow that single specific hardship.
Ah, okay. So it's not just hardship then ease. It's more like the specific hardship you're facing will be met with abundant ease from different directions, maybe.
Precisely. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
One really profound commentary captures this beautifully by stating, no hardship ever overcomes two sources of ease.
Wow. No hardship overcomes two eases.
Yeah. It emphasizes the overwhelming abundance of divinely relieving grace. It's a promise that no single challenge is ever bigger than the comprehensive, multifaceted relief that God will provide, alongside it or after it. It reassures you that for every burden, there isn't just one solution, but potentially a cascade of openings and relief.
That is incredibly profound linguistic detail. It offers immense comfort, knowing the relief outweighs the difficulty. And didn't the life of the Prophet Muhammad itself offer a really powerful illustration of this principle?
It really did. It's one of the most compelling examples. Think about the period known in his life as the year of grief.
Right, when he lost his wife and uncle.
Exactly. He endured compounded, devastating personal losses, the death of his beloved wife Khadija, who was his rock, his greatest support, and his protecting uncle Abu Talib, who shielded him from persecution. Immense sorrows back to back.
Unimaginable hardship.
And immediately following this, he faced intense persecution in the city of Taif. He went there seeking support, but instead he was not only rejected, but physically assaulted, mocked, humiliated. It was a period of extreme, unrelenting hardship on multiple fronts.
Just one blow after another.
Yet this very period of intense difficulty was swiftly followed by the miraculous journey of Al-Isra wal-Miraj, the night journey and ascension. An unparalleled spiritual experience and honor, where he ascended through the heavens, met previous prophets, and received divine commandments, including the institution of the 5 daily prayers.
So the lowest point followed by the highest spiritual elevation.
Exactly. And it was in this very context surrounding these events that Surah Ashar, with its definitive promise of ease accompanying hardship, was revealed. This historical sequence dramatically demonstrates the divine promise in action. Immense difficulty was met by an even greater, multifaceted divine opening and elevation.
It's a powerful testament, isn't it? That this promise isn't just abstract theology, it's tangible, it's manifest, even in the most challenging of times.
Absolutely. And this promise of ease, it's not just a coincidence, or a random turn of events. It's presented as being deeply rooted in the very attributes of God himself.
Ah, okay. How so?
This raises an important point about the nature of divine action. The commentary often links this principle directly to specific names and attributes of Allah. For example, Al-Latif.
Al-Latif, the gentle, the subtle.
Yes, exactly. Signifying God's gentle, subtle, often unexpected way of providing for his creation, bringing relief through means one wouldn't even anticipate. And also, Al-Jabbar.
Al-Jabbar, the mender, the compeller.
Both meanings are relevant. It speaks to his power to mend what is broken, to restore, and also to gently compel circumstances towards what is best for his servants. These names affirm that the divine promise of ease isn't arbitrary. It's a direct expression of Allah's fundamental qualities of gentleness, his profound care, and his absolute ability to mend, restore, and make things right.
So relief and gentleness are inherent qualities of the divine. That's truly comforting.
It's part of his very nature, the texts suggest, to provide ease and relief to those who turn to him with patience and trust.
Okay, so from understanding this powerful promise of ease, let's explore how trust tawakkul helps us navigate the inevitable burdens we face. Because there's another powerful assurance in the Quran that speaks directly to our capacity to bear what comes our way, right?
Absolutely. A true cornerstone of comfort for any believer is the profound assurance found right at the end of Surah Al-Baqarah in verse 2.286. Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it can bear.
La yukallifu lahu nafsan illa wus'aha. That's a verse many people find immense solace in. It feels like such a foundational statement.
It really is. It suggests that whatever trials you face, whatever obligations or responsibilities are placed upon you, they are always fundamentally within your spiritual and emotional capacity to manage and endure. God knows your limits better than you do.
But it's not just a statement of fact, is it? The scholars add another layer.
Right. Scholarly commentary from revered figures like Ibn Kathir and Maududi emphasizes that this isn't merely an abstract, comforting statement left hanging there. It actually serves as a preface, a lead-in to a powerful supplication, a practical prayer that follows immediately in the verse.
Ah, the prayer for forgiveness, mercy, and victory.
Exactly. So the divine assurance that you won't be overburdened then forms the very basis for a practical prayer of reliance. It's a dynamic where believers first acknowledge, okay, God says I can handle this. Then they acknowledge their human limitations, their need, and then they actively seek divine support, forgiveness, mercy, help to overcome those challenges.
So the assurance itself becomes an invitation to actively engage in prayer.
Precisely. It turns the assurance into a catalyst for action, making proactive prayer even more meaningful and empowered. You're told you have the capacity. And in the same breath, now ask me for the help you need to fulfill that capacity.
It's an empowering cycle. You can do this. Now ask for help.
Exactly. It empowers the believer to face the challenge head-on, knowing the intrinsic capacity is there, but also that divine assistance is readily available and should be earnestly sought.
Okay, this leads us naturally then to the broader concept of ultimate protection through absolute reliance, which is known as tawakkul.
Yes, tawakkul. And Quran 9.51 states it very clearly. Say, nothing will ever befall us except what Allah has destined for us. He is our protector. So in Allah, let the believers put their trust.
Nothing will ever befall us except what Allah has destined. That sounds quite definitive.
It is. This directive encapsulates a profound understanding. Whatever transpires, whether it seems good or bad from our limited perspective, is ultimately part of a divinely ordained scheme of things. Qadr, or divine decree.
Okay, but this is where people sometimes get tripped up, right? Does this mean fatalism? Just sit back because everything's already written.
That's a critical clarification. And the sources are clear. This is not a call for passive fatalism or mere resignation to fate. Rather, understanding that everything is by divine decree serves as the foundational groundwork for absolute trust, tawakkul in Allah.
So knowing it's decreed allows you to trust the one who decreed it.
Precisely. It's the conviction that because God is our ultimate protector, Mowgli, whatever, he decrees for us. There is wisdom and ultimate goodness in it for the believer, even if we can't see it immediately.
So it's not saying just let things happen and do nothing. It's saying whatever happens is part of a plan, and you can place your complete reliance and trust in the one who planned it, knowing he is your ultimate protector. That's very different.
Very different. And what's fascinating here is how the commentary often contrasts the consciousness of a hypocrite, someone whose trust is primarily based on observable material cause and effect.
Like, I have enough money, so I'm secure.
Exactly. That kind of thinking. Contrasting that with the consciousness of a true believer, whose trust is based entirely on Allah, acknowledging him alone as the ultimate source of protection, provision, success, everything. It's a fundamental difference in worldview.
Seeing the ultimate cause behind the apparent causes.
Yes. One sees effects and relies on them. The other sees the ultimate cause and relies on him.
And the Prophet Muhammad's hijrah, his migration from Mecca to Medina. You mentioned it before, but it's often cited as the absolute pinnacle example of this kind of tawakkul in action, isn't it?
It is, without a doubt, the classic, most powerful example. During that incredibly perilous journey, when he and his companion Abu Bakr were hiding in the cave of Tar, with their Meccan pursuers literally standing right outside.
Close enough to see their feet, the accounts say.
Yes. Abu Bakr naturally expressed fear, saying something like, if they just look down, they'll see us. But the Prophet, eased with complete serenity and absolute trust, replied with the words immortalized in the Quran itself, 9.40. Do not grieve. Indeed, Allah is with us. Latazan in Allah ma'ana.
Wow. In that moment of extreme vulnerability, swords just feet away. That level of calm reliance.
It's astounding.
Yeah.
And this powerful example, combined with consistent scholarly interpretations across centuries, makes it crystal clear that tawakkul is not an excuse for laziness or sloth and inertia, as some scholars phrase it.
Right. It's not passive.
Not at all. It's a profound state of mind, a deep inner reliance, but it's undertaken only after a person has done everything within their ability and used all permissible means available to them.
Okay, so action comes first.
Action comes first. Effort comes first. It's like the famous saying attributed to the Prophet, tie your camel, then trust in God. You take the necessary precautions, you make the effort, you do your part. Then you rely completely on Allah for the outcome, accepting whatever he decrees.
That's such a crucial nuance. Diligence and proactive effort combined with deep reliance, not just a passive hands-off approach.
Exactly. It's the perfect balance.
This profound trust, this tawakkul, must surely have a direct correlation with our conscious awareness of the divine, doesn't it? It feels linked.
It absolutely does. You've hit on a key spiritual synergy. This leads us directly to another incredibly powerful set of verses found in Quran 65, verses 2 and 3.
Okay, what do they say?
And whoever fears Allah, he will make for him a way out, makhraj, and will provide for him from where he does not expect. And whoever relies upon Allah, then he is sufficient for him.
Wow, okay. Whoever fears Allah, he will make a way out. Provide from unexpected sources. Rely on Allah, he is sufficient. That's a beautiful, encompassing promise.
It truly is. And notice the clear condition and effect relationship here.
Right. The condition seems to be fearing Allah. What exactly does that mean here? Is it just being scared?
That's a common misconception. The word used is taqwa, and while it includes an element of awe and fear of displeasing God, it translates much more accurately to a deep conscious awareness of Allah.
Conscious awareness, like mindfulness of God.
Exactly. It's a reverence, a mindfulness of God's presence, his commands, his prohibitions in every aspect of your life. Being constantly aware that he is watching, that you are accountable to him. It's living with that awareness.
Okay, so taqwa is this conscious awareness. And the effect, the promise, is a makhraj, a way out of difficulties and provision, risk, from sources you could never have anticipated.
Precisely. And then the verse immediately connects this to reliance. And whoever relies upon Allah, yatawakkal ala Allah.
Then he is sufficient for him. Fahuwa hasbu.
Yes. This highlights a crucial spiritual synergy. You need both taqwa and tawakkul. To truly rely on Allah, tawakkul, you must first cultivate this conscious awareness of him, taqwa, and strive to obey his commands.
So they feed each other.
They create a powerful spiritual feedback loop. Piety, born from taqwa, fosters genuine reliance, tawakkul. And that reliance, in turn, brings divine assistance, the way out, the unexpected provision, and the ultimate sufficiency of Allah, which further strengthens your taqwa. It's an active partnership, a spiritual ecosystem that builds upon itself.
So thinking about taqwa again, that conscious awareness, how does that practically translate into making different decisions when you're faced with a temptation or a really difficult choice, beyond just fearing the consequence?
It becomes an internal compass, doesn't it? An acute sensitivity. Someone with deep taqwa doesn't just avoid sin because they're scared of punishment, although that's a factor. They avoid it primarily because they are deeply conscious of Allah's watchful presence, His love for them, and their own intense desire to please Him and not displease Him.
So it's motivated by love and awareness, more than just fear.
Primarily, yes. And when faced with a difficult choice, maybe between something easy but questionable and something harder but right fair, their conscious awareness guides them not merely to the most pragmatic or profitable solution in worldly terms, but to the one most aligned with divine principles. They trust that that path, the one pleasing to Allah, will ultimately be the way out, the makhraj, and will bring unexpected blessings, risk, even if it looks harder initially.
That really elevates decision-making, doesn't it? From just self-interest to seeking divine pleasure, trusting in that process.
It fundamentally changes your experience of life's choices. It offers a powerful sense of agency because your choices matter, and profound hope, knowing that your conscious efforts and obedience have a direct positive impact on how you navigate life's challenges and the divine support you receive.
Okay, so that provides the framework for navigating difficulty, patience, prayer, trust fueled by conscious awareness. But where does the heart truly find its ultimate bedrock, unwavering tranquility? That deep inner peace.
The Quran offers an immediate, unequivocal answer to that very question. In Surah Ar-Ra'd, chapter 13, verse 28, "Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub." Surely in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find comfort.
In the remembrance of Allah do hearts find comfort. So simple, so direct.
It is profoundly reassuring. And the Hadith commentary, the explanations from the Prophet's life and teachings, clarify that dhikr, this remembrance, isn't only about vocal recitation, like repeating certain phrases, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, though those are certainly powerful and encouraged forms.
So it's more than just chanting.
Yes, it's also, and perhaps most importantly, according to many scholars, the constant thought of Allah, a deep internal consciousness of your intimate relationship with Him.
Like keeping God in mind throughout your day.
Exactly. Maintaining a continuous awareness of the divine in your daily life, in your actions, your thoughts, your intentions. It's about cultivating a state of mind where God is never truly absent from your awareness, even when you're busy with worldly tasks.
So it's a profound state of being, a mental and spiritual engagement that goes way beyond just uttering words. And what happens, according to the sources, when that vital connection, that conscious remembrance, is absent or neglected?
Well, the commentary puts it quite starkly. It suggests that when such a connection is withheld from the heart, or the heart turns away from it, it remains miserable, restless, anxious, and forlorn.
Miserable and forlorn. Strong words.
Yeah, and they powerfully affirm that the remembrance of Allah, this dhikr, is presented not merely as a religious ritual, but as a deep psychological and spiritual requirement for human wellness and flourishing.
A fundamental need, like food or water, but for the soul.
That's a good analogy. The core insight is simple yet profound. A heart truly attached to its creator is, by its very nature, essentially secure and fundamentally at peace. It's like a ship connected firmly to its anchor.
It might get tossed by the waves?
It might be tossed by the waves of life, yes, but it won't drift hopelessly or be completely capsized. That connection provides the ultimate sense of belonging, security, and peace.
This provides such a direct, accessible practice for cultivating inner calm then. It emphasizes that mental and spiritual engagement is key, going far beyond just saying words. It's about cultivating that ever-present consciousness.
Precisely. It's within everyone's reach, at any moment.
And speaking of connection, what about those who feel deeply disconnected, maybe burdened by sin, feeling that weight of past mistakes, feeling distant from God? Does the Quran offer hope there?
Oh, absolutely. For souls heavy with transgression, for those weighed down by past mistakes and feeling lost or despairing, the Quran offers what many scholars across the centuries have universally considered the single most hope-inspiring ayah, the most hope-inspiring verse in the entire scripture.
The most hope-inspiring? Which verse is that?
It's Quran 39.53. Allah addresses humanity directly, saying, "Say, O my servants who have transgressed against themselves by sinning, do not despair of the mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah forgives all sins. Indeed, it is He who is the forgiving, the merciful."
Wow. All my servants, do not despair. Allah forgives all sins. That is incredibly powerful and direct.
It truly is. The key phrases are "do not despair, la takantu," and "Allah forgives all sins," and "Allah yaghfiru dunuba jamia." What makes this verse so universally recognized as hope-inspiring? It's sheer, all-encompassing nature and its intensely personal, compassionate address.
No, my servant.
Yes. It speaks to all servants, even specifically addressing those who have transgressed against themselves, which is a fascinating way to put it, acknowledging the self-inflicted harm of sin. And it unequivocally promises that Allah forgives all sins, regardless of their magnitude or frequency, as long as repentance is sincere before death.
So no sin is too great to be forgiven if you turn back sincerely.
That is the promise. And the commentary provides a truly realistic and compassionate perspective here. It suggests that Islam doesn't demand a flawless, idealistic life where you never stumble. It fully acknowledges the human tendency to err, to struggle, to fall short. We are not angels.
It normalizes the struggle.
Exactly. This verse normalizes human struggle and offers the ever-open door of sincere repentance. Tawbah. It assures any supplicant, no matter how far they feel they've strayed, of divine forgiveness and an immediate pathway back to peace, connection, and divine love. It's an immense source of comfort.
It offers incredible spiritual resilience, doesn't it? Hope even in the darkest moments of self-reproach, knowing that the door to mercy is always unequivocally open.
Always open. That's the message.
Okay. As we bring this deep dive towards its conclusion now, let's maybe zoom out a little. Let's consider the final perspective that really frames all of these teachings. The focus on the hereafter and contemplating the divine attributes themselves. How does focusing on the next life, on what comes after this world, actually help us with our current struggles and anxieties here and now?
It provides an absolutely essential, timeless, and frankly, transformative perspective. The Quran states this very clearly in Surah Ad-Duha, chapter 93, verse 4, وَلَا الْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. And the next life is certainly far better for you than this one.
The hereafter is better for you than the present life.
Yes. This single verse fundamentally contextualizes and, you could say, relativizes all worldly suffering, all transient joys, all temporary anxieties. It's not about escaping this life or neglecting it, but about viewing it through an eternal lens. And when you do that, it dramatically diminishes the perceived intensity and ultimate importance of immediate struggles.
So it's not a call to ignore present difficulties, but to understand their true temporary nature in the grand scheme of things.
Precisely. It means cultivating a healthy detachment, not indifference, but detachment from the overwhelming allure and anxieties of worldly comforts and status, recognizing the transient nature of this life. This world is presented as a bridge, a test, a place of preparation.
And the Prophet Muhammad's life again exemplifies this.
He is the ultimate example of this principle. He chose to live with minimal worldly possessions, often sleeping on a simple mat that left marks on his side, consistently reminding his followers and himself that this world is a temporary abode, a stopping point on a much longer journey. His focus was always on the enduring rewards, the true life of the hereafter.
So how does that perspective act as an antidote?
While focusing on the eternal reward becomes a powerful antidote to present grief. It provides an unwavering source of hope, and it allows you to navigate loss and hardship with profound acceptance, knowing that something far greater awaits the patient and the faithful. It allows you to invest your energy, your heart, your efforts into what truly lasts, rather than being consumed by the temporary.
That really can profoundly shift your outlook, can't it? Offering that broader, eternal context diminishes the weight of immediate struggles. It provides strength through that grander narrative.
It absolutely does. And finally, to truly appreciate the depth of this peace we're seeking, we must also contemplate its very origin, the divine names and attributes themselves.
Reflecting on God's nature.
Yes. The concluding verses of Surah Al-Hashr, chapter 59, verses 22 to 24, are a powerful invitation for believers to remember and reflect upon Allah's Asma'ul Husna, his most beautiful names and attributes.
And specific names there relate directly to peace and security.
Oh, absolutely. What's fascinating are the names that resonate so strongly with our quest for tranquility. Names such as As-Salam.
As-Salam, the peace, the source of peace.
Exactly. The name itself signifies the ultimate source and the very embodiment of all peace. Then there's Al-Mu'min.
Al-Mu'min, the giver of security, the grantor of safety.
Yes, which directly relates to finding safety, reassurance, and protection under his care. And Al-Wahid, the One, affirming his singular dominion and unity, meaning all power, all authority rests ultimately with him alone, which can be incredibly reassuring. And Al-Aziz.
Al-Aziz, the mighty, the invincible.
Highlighting his ultimate power, his irresistible strength. What reflecting on these names demonstrates is that peace, security, and ultimate authority are not just states or feelings we hope to achieve, they are fundamental, inherent qualities of the divine himself.
So the very source of all existence is peace, is security, is ultimate power and wisdom.
Yes, that's the profound implication. And contemplation of these names, truly reflecting on their meanings, deepens the spiritual relationship immeasurably. It affirms the conviction that Allah's dominion over all affairs is based on ultimate wisdom, profound mercy, and absolute power. This understanding instills a great sense of security.
It allows the heart to let go of anxiety.
It allows the heart to relinquish anxieties, knowing that the one who is the peace and the giver of security is ultimately in control of everything. Recognizing that the Creator is inherently peaceful and the ultimate giver of security allows us to tap into that ultimate source, understanding tranquility as a divine bestowal rooted in His very nature, rather than something we must generate entirely on our own steam.
What an incredible journey we've just taken. This deep dive has really illuminated how the spiritual wisdom of the Quran for finding comfort and peace is, well, it's a holistic system, isn't it? Intricately built upon core, interconnected principles.
Definitely holistic. And it's a continuous effort involving aspects that are both deeply spiritual and also profoundly psychological.
Yeah, we've really traversed a path, haven't we? Starting with those foundational tools, patience, sabr, and prayer, salāh. Understanding them not as passive acts, but as active ways to seek divine help.
Right. And that led us to the profound acceptance of divine decree, qadr, which forms the basis for unwavering trust, tawakkul.
And that trust, that tawakkul, is then fueled and fortified by cultivating a conscious awareness of Allah taqwa, which incredibly promises a direct way out of difficulties and provision from unexpected places.
And then we found the heart's ultimate sanctuary in the constant remembrance of Allah, dhikr, which the Quran states directly brings peace and contentment, tatmainul qulub.
All illuminated by that incredible promise of divine mercy, especially for those burdened by sin, and capped off by the transformative perspective of a better eternal life in the hereafter, which truly contextualizes and relativizes all worldly hardship.
So, okay, boiling it all down.
Yeah.
What does all this mean for you, our listener, in your everyday life? How can you make this practical? We can try and synthesize these profound findings into a concise, maybe an operational framework. Something tangible you can integrate, especially when you're facing adversity or just seeking deeper inner calm.
Okay, a practical takeaway. Let's try it. First point.
First, maybe active endurance. This means proactively nurturing patience, sabr, in all those forms we discussed, in consistently doing good deeds and obeying commands, in actively refraining from sins and harmful actions, and in enduring life's inevitable suffering with acceptance. It's a proactive, ongoing commitment, like strengthening a spiritual muscle.
Okay, active endurance. Second.
Second, consistent supplication. Regularly turning to prayer, salāh, as your main provider of strength, comfort, and that vital direct connection with the divine. Really following the Prophet Muhammad's a profound example of turning to prayer in every situation. Make it your go-to refuge.
Consistent supplication. Got it. Third.
Third, conscious remembrance. Performing regular dhikr, yes, the vocal remembrance, but also focusing on tadabbur, deeply pondering the meanings and wisdom of the Quran to strengthen your intimate, conscious relationship with Allah. Taking it far beyond just lip service, really internalizing it.
Conscious remembrance. Fourth.
Fourth, indomitable trust. Cultivating that unwavering tawakkul. The deep trust that whatever occurs is by divine will and wisdom. And truly leaving the outcomes to Allah after you've exhausted all possible and permissible efforts. Remember, tie your camel first. This isn't passivity. It's ultimate reliance on the all-wise, the most merciful.
Indomitable trust. And finally, the fifth point.
Finally, eternal perspective. Keeping your focus at least partly on the reality that this life is transitory, understanding it as a journey, a test, and recognizing the hereafter as the ultimate time of reward, justice, and lasting peace. This broader view helps diminish the immediate weight and anxiety of present struggles.
Active endurance, consistent supplication, conscious remembrance, indomitable trust, and eternal perspective. A powerful framework.
We hope so. Because in the end, real peace, that divine gift of sakana, it isn't really an external condition that's just waiting to happen to you. It's presented as an internal gift from God, yes, but one that's gained and nurtured through a deliberate, abiding effort at rapport and conscious connection with Allah. That profound rapport becomes the ultimate source, the ultimate fountain of protection and comfort, no matter what storms life brings your way.
So for you, our listener, here's maybe a final thought to ponder on your own. How might intentionally and consistently cultivating this deep, deliberate rapport with the divine through patience, prayer, remembrance, trust, and that eternal perspective, how might that fundamentally change your experience of life's inevitable ups and downs, transforming them from just struggles to endure into genuine pathways for profound growth and lasting peace? Something to think about.
Definitely something to reflect on.
Thank you for diving deep with us today. Until next time, stay curious.